Hello, everybody. Welcome back to LettermenRow.com. I am Jeremy Birmingham. This is Birminology. Today, we're talking to 2023 offensive lineman Joshua Padilla from Huber Heights Wayne High School, one of Ohio State's few offers extended in the class of 2023 inside of its state's borders, and a player that has had an opportunity in the first few weeks of the season to really get a good look at some of the top schools he's considering. So we're going to welcome in Josh, and let's get to it. Josh Padilla joins the show. Josh, welcome, man. Thanks for taking some time. I want to talk about some of the visits you've been making a little bit, but first, let's just dive into your junior season. How have things started for you and your teammates with Wayne Warriors?
We've been doing pretty good. We started off 2-0, but then we lost 2 games in a row. But we've came back. We won 2 games right now in a row. So we just hope to keep striving and achieving.
As a young guy leading your team, Josh, I mean, you get a perspective to really see what it takes as you start to go around the country and make these visits. How did the summer camp tour and going to make the visits you made this past summer help you be a better teammate over at Wayne as you do this junior year?
I feel like going to these colleges, they've taught me a lot of things, like they incorporate in what they're doing. So I feel like I can use those tools and use it to my high school and show them things that the colleges teach and stuff like that.
Is there 1 or 2 things that you picked up this summer, maybe not even necessarily a technique or anything like that, but that you really have taken and applied? I mean, is there something that you can point to and say that was a difference for me this year?
I feel like just leadership. I feel like leadership is a big part of your team and everything like that. And I feel like without leadership, your team will not be successful.
Saturday night, you were at Ohio Stadium as the Buckeyes took on Akron. It was the second time there this season for you. You were also at the Oregon game. What's the difference as you visit for a night game versus a day game? But the night game is for a team that obviously Ohio State probably should have played at noon, and the noon game was the team Ohio State maybe wanted to play at night. Do you feel a difference in the atmosphere? Does it matter to you as a recruit? I mean, what do you take away, and how do you differentiate between those 2 types of trips?
I feel like the night game, it was actually pretty crazy too. Just seeing all the fans at night is just super surreal. And, but I feel like the Oregon game was just super crazy. But the Akron game was also crazy too. I think there was 95,000 people there, which is still crazy. Knowing they play Akron and knowing 95,000 fans are coming to see them play Akron at night is just crazy. I just know they have supportive fans and everything.
You've got an opportunity to be there twice, like I said. Both times now, the atmosphere is different, but some of the things remain the same, and that's that you are getting attention from a lot of the coaches. You're getting a chance to catch up with people. Greg Studwara has been dealing with some medical issues, so he's been a little bit less active. I assume you spent most of the time with Kennedy Cook. Is that, if I'm wrong, tell me.
Yep.
But what's the messaging from them as they watch? Because I think there's an expectation, Josh, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, that I think a lot of people thought maybe you'd have had a decision made by now. And are they surprised? Are you surprised you don't?
I feel like the time will come just whenever it'll come. But I feel like just knowing when I know it's the right time, I'm pull the trigger. So.
What's been their message? I mean, as you get a chance to talk to Kennedy Cook and, you're watching their offensive line, what are you seeing? How are they relaying to you what they think that you would play in that role? And how does it all mesh together?
I feel like their offensive line is playing super good, especially the run game right now. I feel like the run game is actually one of the best in college football right now. Just knowing how explosive they are, how fast-paced tempo they are, I feel like that correlates to my game because our offense is super fast-paced, zone offense, and just playing that is super similar in what I'm seeing at Ohio State.
As you watch their line, do you start to see which role you feel the most? I mean, the thing is at Ohio State, I'm sure they've told you this. They're looking for guys who can play all 5 positions. I mean, they want players that are flexible and versatile. When I saw you on Saturday night, to me, you looked taller than you were when I saw you in June. I don't know if you're still growing or not, but or maybe you're just skinnier. I don't know. It could be either or. What are you doing physically to get yourself ready for the opportunity to play a lot of different spots at the next level?
I feel like just getting stronger every single day and basically eating healthy and drinking the right things. I feel like those are the main things I'm working on right now.
We talked in the summertime, and again, I think a lot of people believe that as an in-state player that you automatically are going to know where you want to go to school when you get an Ohio State offer. But that's not the way the world works. You still have to explore your opportunities. You went to Penn State for that whiteout game against Auburn. Someone who's been on the sideline for 4 whiteout games, it is the craziest atmosphere that I've ever been in college football. How does the Penn State visit, how does that weigh into this this decision? And are these visits making it harder for you or easier for you?
I feel like it's making it sort of easy for me because like narrowing down to like a small amount of schools and then taking my official visits there would be a thing. And then after my officials, just like committing, that would be one of the things I'm looking forward to. But it's making a big toll. Just seeing like how like what their fans are, seeing like the people around the stadium, seeing how like their personalities are, like, how they are as a person, basically.
Do you feel like personality wise, I mean, is it easy to feel like where you fit? Because there are differences in programs. And, I think a lot of people look at a place like Ohio State and they see the long-time success. They see the fact, it's one of the top 2 programs in the country. But then if you look at like Alabama, for example, the personalities of the programs are very, very different. Ohio State to Penn State is a different personality. Ohio State to Kentucky or Notre Dame. Do you start to make a decision based more on that than, on-field production or because I think about a guy like Emil Wagner, your teammate at Wayne. There's a lot of people like, is Emil the right personality type for Ohio State's program? Is he the right type for Kentucky? How does that weigh into things for you? Do you care about that, or are you just trying to find the best, I can develop here? And I don't even know what I'm saying, Josh. What's the most important thing?
Yeah, I got you. I'm just basically that's a factor, but I think just like seeing that success, the passive success is one of my things I'm looking to. Like Ohio State, I know they produce top centers like in the past years, and like Notre Dame, I know they produce great offensive linemen, and Penn State, their offensive line coach is super good. He's pretty young, but he's like on the come up. So I know that basically just like seeing their production is one of the biggest things I'm looking forward to.
I guess I'm fascinated by what we're seeing as the changes in college football, the transition into the name, image, and likeness era, the transfer portal. On Saturday night at Ohio State, you watched a player quit in the middle of the game on his teammates.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I mean, at Penn State, you have all these rumors about James Franklin and maybe going to USC and this and that. Like, how do you, as a young guy trying to sort out all of these opportunities, have to factor in the insanity around college football? I mean, is it easy to block out because you're so narrowly focused on you, or is it like, hey, this game is changing and I need to stay on top of it?
Just basically like focused on me, but like keeping those like factors aware that like the known factors about things about like that, just like knowing they happen, just like moving on to the past is one of the things I'm looking to.
And have you ever, I mean, I don't want to get too far into the weeds here, Josh, but have you ever had a player, like a teammate, do something like that during a game?
Nothing like that, like quit up, run off the field, but like it's like people they get like emotions are super high, but like they get like super stressed out and they like spaz out, but then they won't like quit, but nothing like that.
Okay, I'm just going to keep going down this rabbit hole. If someone did that during a game, what would your team's reaction be? Because I know as a former athlete myself, like I understand that tight-knit bond that you guys have with each other almost allows you to overlook things in the favor of your teammate because you know what you guys have been through together. But at the same time, like you have to be focused on the team's success. How hard is it to balance that or to not be like hurt by a teammate's action, but also be supportive of him?
I just feel like whatever they're going through, I just feel like I would try to like support them whatever they're going through, like talk them through it, like what's going on through their mind. So like seeing what their point of view is and like seeing whatever I can do to help them. That's one of the things I'd like do if that ever happened.
What else is next for you? I don't want to, again, I don't ever script anything we talk about, obviously, on this show. And so sometimes you just start to think about it and talk about it. But what's next for you on the visit tour? I'm assuming you're going to get to Notre Dame at some point for a game, maybe back at Ohio State on the 30th for the Penn State game in October. But what else is on the docket for you?
I'm pretty sure I'm going to Cincinnati and then Notre Dame I'm pretty sure I'm going for a Kentucky game, and then I think a Michigan game.
Cincinnati's an interesting one to me, Josh, because obviously they're joining the Big 12. The dynamic changes a little bit down there. I don't think people ever really assume that they're a real threat in a recruitment for a guy like you, but you are, in essence, a Cincinnati kid. Do you think that people are underestimating the Bearcats in this whole thing, or should they be paying more attention to Luke Fickell's program?
I feel like they should, because I feel like there's a super explosive team. I feel like they could do anything, anywhere. Because I know their offense, Desmond Ridder, he's been like playing super good lately, and I feel like they're just one of the best teams in the nation.
As a recruit, how important is it for you that they're moving into the Big 12 to really make that program one that elevate, and does it elevate them up in your mind?
I feel like they've always been like a team that like I've seen, because that was like the first game I went to as like a high school recruit as a Cincinnati game. So like I've seen like the game atmosphere and everything like that. So they've just been a team on my mind.
So you're saying official visits and then the decision. Does that mean that things are looking at least into next spring for you, Josh?
Most likely, but if the time comes sooner, then I'm most likely to make my decision.
How much of a relationship have you forged with Ty Lockwood? He's Ohio State's only 2023 commit at this point. I know Ty is trying to push for guys like you and Luke Montgomery and a few others in the state to join him. But is it hard to hold a guy like that off and say, hey, this is my decision? Or, is he really just trying to build a relationship and not actually push?
Yeah, he's not really pushing for real. He's just like telling us, basically saying like "Go Bucks," like basically saying stuff like that, and like just like commit basically.
It's kind of weird because like kids like yourself and Luke, you guys are the ones that grew up Buckeyes fans. But Ty growing up in Chicago and then now living in Tennessee, had no ties to the program, but he's the one doing the sell, which. Yeah, I think that's where people get confused from an outsider perspective. They're like, well, why isn't the Ohio kid just the one doing this? But people don't understand. What's the one biggest lesson you've learned about recruiting in the last few months as you really started to dive into it a little bit?
Basically just like seeing like how much the coaches like really text you and basically care about you, and like seeing what like how they feel about you. That's one thing I've learned.
The difference between real love and fake love, I guess.
Yeah, basically.
Well, I mean that's a lesson for life there, Josh, not just the old recruiting trail. So it's good that you're picking up on that early. So are you still intending to wrestle again this year? I mean, what is your plan as you head into the next year? Are you going to early enroll? Are you thinking about all that way down the line?
I'm not sure if I should early enroll. I'm thinking about just like wrestling and doing track, just like the rest of my high school career.
That's always good for the athleticism and the footwork. So speaking of footwork, I'm going to let you skedaddle and get out of here. I thank you for taking time to join us on Birminology. Thanks for catching up with us after your visit to the Ohio State for the Akron game. And we will run into you again down the road, I am sure.
Yep. Appreciate you having me.
Josh Padilla, I'm Jeremy Birmingham. This has been Birminology on Lettermen Row. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Please rate, review, subscribe. We'll see you next time.